General Hospital spoilers reveal that Sophia Matson has finally stepped forward with a heartfelt and deeply personal revelation about her departure from General Hospital, sending emotional tremors across the fan community and reawakening powerful speculation surrounding the future of Sasha Gilmore. In a striking and transparent admission, Sophia didn't just confirm her exit, she explained it in a way that unveiled the heavy emotional toll the role had taken and exposed the intense behind-the-scenes pressure that had quietly shaped her decision. For years, Sasha had been written into some of the darkest and most devastating arcs on the show: the death of her baby, the harrowing descent into addiction, the trauma of manipulation and institutionalization, and the constant cycles of emotional destruction that left little space for growth or healing. Sophia confessed that while she was grateful for the complexity and the challenge of the material, she reached a point where embodying Sasha began to consume her own sense of emotional balance. The exhaustion, the grief, the endless tragedy, it wasn't just acting anymore. It was bleeding into her, and something had to change. In what many are now calling one of the most vulnerable disclosures from a GH cast member in recent memory, Sophia detailed how she wrestled with walking away for months. She spoke of long days on set where scenes of raw heartbreak had to be filmed again and again, of sleepless nights after portraying Sasha's complete psychological collapse, and of the growing feeling that Sasha's story had become defined solely by pain. There was no light at the end of the tunnel, she explained. And I started to wonder if Sasha would ever be allowed to heal, or if she was being used as a canvas for never-ending tragedy. This one sentence hit fans hard. It encapsulated everything many had been saying online for years, that Sasha, as portrayed brilliantly by Sophia, was too emotionally rich a character to be endlessly broken. And with Sophia now confirming that she chose to leave because she no longer recognized where the story was headed, it casts a sharp spotlight on the show's creative direction. But Sophia didn't stop there. In a twist that fans were not expecting, she hinted, without explicitly confirming, that Sasha's journey may not be over for good. She talked about the possibility of returning, if the time is right, and, if Sasha is allowed to return with strength, not just suffering. These phrases have ignited a wildfire of speculation. Not just about a potential comeback, but about what kind of Sasha could emerge from the shadows. Could she return transformed, empowered, seeking justice for everything she endured? Could her return be tied to a shocking twist, like the revelation that she faked her death, or is in hiding after uncovering a major secret? The possibilities now seem endless. Sophia's interview has also had the unintended effect of exposing what some fans are calling a pattern of character mismanagement on the show. The obsessive way in which Sasha was written into torment after torment, with no meaningful recovery, has become a rallying point in online discussions. Viewers are now dissecting old episodes with fresh eyes, wondering if the writing had, over time, shifted from compassionate storytelling to gratuitous suffering. The obsession with Sasha's pain wasn't just limited to the characters around her, it became baked into the structure of the show itself. Now, with Sophia's words echoing across social platforms, there is a rising demand for the show to address the emotional damage left behind, not just for Sasha, but for the audience that felt her pain so deeply. This growing obsession with Sasha's fate has also given rise to new fan theories. One of the most compelling suggests that Sasha's exit was staged not just by the character, but by the writers in coordination with Sophia, to set the stage for a powerful reintroduction later. A Sasha who returns stronger, wiser, and more dangerous than ever could radically alter the power dynamics in Port Charles. And if she comes back with secrets, perhaps having spent her time away uncovering corruption, or aligning with powerful allies, it would be one of the most electrifying storylines GH has ever delivered. Fans point to the way other characters, like Britt or Jason, have been resurrected or reinvented after exits, and they believe Sasha is due the same redemption arc. But this time, it must be done on Sasha's terms, and Sophia's. It's also worth noting that Sophia's interview has struck a chord with her co-stars and even some of the creative team behind GH. Anonymous sources say that her honesty has triggered internal conversations about how trauma is portrayed on the show and whether some characters are being asked to carry too much emotional weight without balance. Some fans hope this marks the beginning of a creative shift, where characters like Sasha aren't just punished for their pain, but allowed to rise from it. And if that shift comes, it will be in no small part thanks to Sophia's courage in speaking out. In the end, Sophia Mattson's departure may not be the closing chapter it first appeared to be. Instead, it feels like the turning of a page, a bold reset that could usher in a reimagined Sasha and a fresh, emotionally authentic approach to storytelling in Port Charles. The obsession with Sasha's fate has now evolved into a movement, one that demands healing, power, and justice for a character who gave everything and was nearly destroyed for it. Whether she returns next month or next year, the fans will be waiting, and so will the story. Because in the world of General Hospital, the most unforgettable characters never truly disappear. They rise. And when Sasha rises again, it will be a reckoning. Sophia Matson is quietly but powerfully making it known that her heart has never fully left General Hospital. And her desire to return is not just rooted in nostalgia, but in a deep yearning to complete Sasha's journey in a way that honors both the character's trauma and her potential for redemption. Her recent comments and subtle signals have made it clear that a comeback is not only possible, it may be inevitable. And what makes the timing all the more compelling is the brewing emotional shift surrounding Michael Corinthos, who, in the wake of his deteriorating connection with Willow and the crumbling structure of his once perfect life, seems primed for a new beginning. As Michael's stability falters, and his need for genuine emotional connection resurfaces, Sasha's return could ignite a dramatic and transformative storyline that changes everything. The emotional residue left by Sasha's tragic departure still lingers in Port Charles, not just among her loved ones, but in the very air of the show. Fans continue to express their discontent that a character so deeply tied to loss, hope, and resilience was removed without closure. Sophia's interest in returning adds fuel to that unresolved energy, pointing to a wave of change already beginning to crest. There is a sense that her reappearance would not be mere fan service, but the launch of an emotional reckoning. Sasha's return could carry with it secrets from her time away, new alliances, painful truths, and perhaps a desire to reclaim a sense of agency that was long denied her. At the center of this impending storm lies Michael. Once positioned as the golden boy of Port Charles, Michael now finds himself adrift in personal chaos. Willow's collapse, Drew's rising threat, and the dark revelations surrounding Wiley and Amelia's future have left him more isolated than ever. In this moment of vulnerability, the door is wide open for an unexpected emotional reconnection. If Sasha returns not as the shattered woman who once clung to life, but as someone reborn, resilient, clear-eyed, and unapologetically strong, then her chemistry with Michael may reignite with even greater force. Their shared grief, their understanding of pain, and the love that once bloomed in the ashes of tragedy could very well evolve into something deeper, more dangerous, and far more passionate than before. Sophia Mattson's potential return also signals a deeper narrative adjustment taking place behind the scenes, a course correction, perhaps, from the show's long-standing tendency to bury characters in trauma without giving them the chance to rise. Sasha's journey could now become the benchmark of change. The proof that General Hospital is ready to invest in character rehabilitation, not just character destruction. The obsession with her pain might finally give way to an obsession with her power. Imagine Sasha coming back not just to heal, but to expose, to challenge, and to protect those still vulnerable to the same emotional cycles she barely survived. And as for the storyline possibilities, they are limitless. What if Sasha returns just as Michael is about to fall into the arms of someone else? What if her arrival interrupts a new relationship that was never meant to last? What if her reappearance triggers Willow's jealousy, not out of love for Michael, but from guilt and fear that her lies are about to be exposed? What if Sasha carries with her evidence, proof that could take down Drew or Nina, or even rewrite the custody battle over Wiley? These threads are ready to unravel, and Sophia's return could be the spark. At its core, this is not just about bringing a beloved character back, it's about correcting a deep emotional imbalance within the show. Sophia Mattson's growing openness about her interest in returning is a sign that she, too, sees the unfinished symphony in Sasha's story. And if that music plays again, it will come with new notes, of power, revenge, redemption, and maybe even love. A Sasha reborn isn't just a possibility. It's a promise of what General Hospital can be when it dares to honor both the pain and the potential of the women it creates. The audience is ready. The character is ready. And if Michael is truly on the verge of rewriting his future, then Sasha's return may not just be timely, it may be destiny. Sophia Matson is no longer just an actress momentarily stepping away from a daytime role. She is quickly becoming the center of one of the most passionate and growing movements among modern soap opera fans. As viewers from General Hospital and even beyond continue to flood social media, comment sections, and fan pages with declarations of loyalty and an unrelenting desire to see her return to daytime television in a powerful and transformative new role. This wave of encouragement isn't just rooted in nostalgia for Sasha Gilmore, the character she so heartbreakingly brought to life. It's about Sophia Matson herself and what she now symbolizes. Resilience, unfinished business, and untapped potential. With every post, every whisper of her potential next step, there is a mounting sense that Sophia is standing on the edge of a major career shift, one that could see her rise as a central force in the world of the young and the restless or days of our lives. Depending on where fate and strategy may lead her. The energy surrounding her right now is unlike anything soap audiences have seen in years. She has become a figure of both admiration and projection, admiration for the emotional gravity and authenticity she brought to her work on GH. And projection of all the hopes that fans carry for strong, complex, empowered female characters who aren't permanently sacrificed to trauma. What's unfolding now is bigger than just a potential casting. It's a moment of collective longing, a deep and persistent emotional hunger from fans who feel robbed not just of Sasha's future, but of seeing Sophia explore something bolder, stronger, and more transformative. And if GH can't, or won't, offer her that opportunity, there's no question that YNR or DOOL would welcome her with open arms. Imagine Sophia Matson entering the young and the restless not as a broken woman defined by grief, but as a mysterious new player with a hidden agenda. Perhaps she arrives in Genoa City under an alias, searching for the truth about a family betrayal that traces back decades, maybe tied to the Newman Empire, or sent to unravel something Victor buried long ago. Or perhaps she becomes the next powerhouse at Chancellor Winters, shaking up the corporate hierarchy and challenging both Devon and Lily in ways they didn't anticipate. With her poised strength and emotional depth, Sophia would be more than just a new face. She'd be a storm rolling into a town that thrives on secrets, power, and legacy. Fans can already picture her going toe-to-toe with Audra Charles, luring someone like Nate into her orbit, or becoming a threat to even the most unshakable alliances. But then there's Days of Our Lives, where anything is possible. In Salem, characters aren't limited by realism, resurrections, possession, hidden twins, and mistaken identities are part of the DNA. Here, Sophia Matson could truly reinvent herself. What if she is revealed as the long-lost daughter of a Demera heir, returned to claim her rightful place but torn between vengeance and love? What if she arrives in town under the radar, a hired fixer with a dark past and ties to a secret Black Ops group that only Marlena and Steve know about? The creative possibilities in DOOL are endless. And Sophia could unleash an entirely different side of herself as a performer, stepping into morally gray territory, seduction, danger, and redemption arcs that redefine her place in daytime television. Meanwhile, the pressure continues to mount. Every interview she gives, every cryptic Instagram caption, every fan interaction adds to the speculation and urgency. People aren't simply suggesting she return, they are begging for it, almost demanding it. The emotional attachment is so fierce that Sophia now holds something that few daytime stars ever truly achieve: leverage. She is now a blank slate with enormous narrative weight. Whether she returns as Sasha, reimagined and resurrected, or steps into a new world entirely, her impact will be immediate. Casting directors know this. Showrunners know this. And increasingly, Sophia knows it too. She's not just navigating a career opportunity, she's confronting a moment that could redefine her legacy. Stepping into YNR or DOOL would not be a retreat from GH, but an evolution, proof that a woman can rise from the ashes of a miswritten storyline and build something stronger in its place. That she can take the fragments of Sasha's pain and craft a new character who owns her destiny from day one. The move would also echo the journeys of other fan-favorite actresses who found their true power only after stepping into different roles on rival shows, eventually becoming titans of the genre in their own right. And there's something else too, something more emotionally complex. There is a palpable sense that Sophia Matson is not just an actress in transition, but a symbol of change. A representation of what soap audiences want more of. Characters and performers who are not disposable, who are allowed to rise again, to be messy, resilient, passionate, and imperfect. Her presence on screen brought authenticity to stories that often walk the line between drama and melodrama, and her absence has only made the longing grow stronger. Ultimately, whether she returns to General Hospital to reclaim Sasha's life, or storms into the young and the restless or days of our lives as someone entirely new, Sophia Matson is poised for something extraordinary. The obsession with her return isn't just emotional. It's cultural. It's a reflection of a daytime audience finally awakening to the power of character continuity and the need for actresses like her to be given the storylines they deserve. Every comment, every speculative headline, every rumor swirling about her next move proves the same thing: Sophia Matson is not done. And if she walks through the doors of Genoa City or Salem, she won't just be joining the cast, she'll be rewriting the rules. The growing buzz around Sophia Matson's potential return to General Hospital isn't just a wave of fan excitement, it's a seismic emotional shift that could ripple across Port Charles in ways no one can fully predict. At the core of this frenzy is the tantalizing possibility that Sasha Gilmore's story is far from over, and that her reappearance may reignite one of the most unfinished, tragic, and emotionally explosive dynamics in recent GH history: her connection with Michael Corinthos. What makes this prospect even more thrilling is not merely the idea of rekindled romance, it's the storm of grief, guilt, obsession, and resurrection that would come with it. A return now would feel less like a comeback and more like an aftershock. One with the power to undo everything Michael thinks he knows about himself and about love. Sasha and Michael were never given a clean resolution. Their potential was extinguished not by betrayal or cruelty but by relentless external tragedy, death, addiction, loss, and the emotional disintegration that followed. Viewers never truly saw them fall apart, they simply watched them fracture under the unbearable weight of grief, helplessness, and the suffocating pressure of public life in a town where secrets fester. If Sophia Matson walks back into Michael's world, she does so not as the woman he once loved, but as the ghost of every mistake he tried to forget. And that makes her return more dangerous than anything Nina, Willow, or even Drew could unleash. Imagine a scenario in which Sasha's return doesn't come with an announcement or celebration, but with quiet, trembling steps. A late-night scene. A hospital hallway. Michael turns, and sees her standing there, alive, healed but changed. That moment alone could destabilize everything. The look in her eyes might carry blame, or forgiveness, or simply nothing at all, emptiness where there used to be love. That kind of moment doesn't require melodrama to be powerful. It requires pain. It requires history. And most of all, it requires a deep, unsettling sense of what if. But the brilliance of this potential twist lies in its unpredictability. If Sophia returns, who says she returns as the same Sasha? Why assume that her agenda is reunion rather than reckoning? The Sasha who left was broken by loss, deceived by those she trusted, and manipulated until she nearly lost herself entirely. Her return could be fueled not by longing but by clarity. She may come back not to reclaim Michael, but to destroy the image of him she once held. In that way, her return could force Michael to face the parts of himself he's tried hardest to bury, the man who stood by while Sasha unraveled, who moved on too quickly, and who, in the eyes of many fans, failed to fight for her when she needed him most. This is the fertile ground where obsession grows. Not just the audience's obsession with what could be, but Michael's obsession with what he let go. A Michael who is grieving, perhaps newly estranged from Willow, emotionally raw and vulnerable, would not simply welcome Sasha with open arms. He would fall into her like a drowning man clutching at memory. Their connection, fueled by past pain, could twist into something toxic and beautiful, an entanglement driven not by healing but by hunger. That's the kind of story arc that sticks with fans for years. The kind that turns soap characters into legends. And yet, the obsession extends beyond the screen. Sophia Matson herself has become a lightning rod for speculation, passion, and fan campaigning. Every comment she posts, every cryptic photo, every smile shared in public is dissected for clues about her next move. If she chooses to return to GH, it would not be as just another cast member slipping back into an old role, it would be a narrative earthquake. And if, instead, she crosses over to the young and the restless or days of our lives, the backlash and heartbreak from fans who believed in Sasha's redemption arc would be undeniable. But what if she returns and isn't the only one changed? What if Michael is the one who's become dangerous? What if his grief over Willow, his guilt over Sasha, and his increasing alienation in the Corinthos family transform him into something harder, more desperate? The moment Sasha reappears, she becomes his last link to a life before everything fell apart. And that's where the story gets dark. The possibility that Michael might try to possess her emotionally, to win her back, not out of love, but out of a need to fix what he broke, would deepen the psychological complexity of their arc. Sasha could resist. She could fall. She could manipulate. Or she could walk away. But whatever she does, it would create chaos. Because Michael is no longer the grieving golden boy, he's the broken heir to a crumbling dynasty. And Sasha is no longer the girl with a tragic past, she's a woman who survived it. That collision would not be clean. It would be messy, devastating, and emotionally feral in the way only General Hospital knows how to deliver. The show has a rare opportunity here. Not just to give fans what they want, but to give them what they never dared hope for, closure twisted into fresh chaos, healing buried beneath obsession. And a love story reimagined as psychological warfare. In the end, Sophia Mattson's possible return isn't about romance. It's about reckoning. It's about making every buried scream, every unresolved scene, and every denied emotion explode into the light. It's about giving Sasha the power she never had, and giving Michael the consequences he never faced. And if that happens, Port Charles will never be the same again.